Virginia, Dulles. I've recently retired and looking for the next thing to do and to help out in the community. I spent about 30 years in the audio video industry, most recently with a company called SDS, which builds residential speakers and subwoofers.
You're following my same path. I came down here. I lived in Herndon, Virginia.
Yep, we were in Chantilly.
Right next to it.
Okay, and moved down here in 2016 after I retired. I was there for about almost 23 years. I worked for Innova Health System.
Okay.
So, welcome. Are you from the Northern Virginia area?
Originally, no, my wife is from Buffalo and I'm from Queens, New York.
Okay.
Oh, you can tell that.
Still kind of the same. I'm originally from Baltimore. So relocated for a job down in Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay, sure.
Well, welcome. Hopefully we get you down here full time when you make that final decision. It's a great place to live down here. Okay, any other guests? All right, we got a good group here today, big group. Why don't we all stand up and we'll do the Rotary motto, which is
Service of self.
and we're going to stand to the flag, hand over the heart. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Alan, I have a feeling you got a song for us.
I do have a song. In fact, it's going to be a double feature today. This is Navy country. How many people are here associated with the Navy or have been?
Associated with the Navy.
Yeah, there's a few here.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, my brother.
Murphy, number 15 on your song sheet, the sheet that I made a copy of, passed around, Anchors Away.
Anchors away.
You can probably know this, okay? Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to cottage growing, we sail at break of day, day. We'll fly ashore, drink to the foam, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. We'll cut it there. Turn the page over to the back side and look at 23. Same tune, then we'll start right here and continue. All hail to Rotary, steadfast and strong. We'll strive to hold our course through days turn dark and things go wrong. Service in all we do, friends ever free, until we meet once more. Here's health to all our friends in Rotary.
Thank you, Alan. And this was an important week, June 6th. It was the day the Allies, the Americans, made their push into Europe by crossing the English Channel, invading the coastline, Omaha Beach, and what's the other beach? Omaha.
Utah, Gold,
Yeah,
Sword.
but the American landings. And we lost many military folks that day. No one here is old enough to have been involved in that, but your parents may have been, or your grandparents. So a moment of silence, keeping that in mind for all those we lost on June 6th on D-Day. Okay, thank you. We'll get into a little bit of announcements, but first of all, something really important. So we're going to let the guest today be first in line. Following the guest, ladies first, and then the rest of the club.
Alan, can we get by you?
Move, Alan. Half these guys are stone dead.
You're
I bet I'm not stone dead. Not like Alan's.
Alan, are we keeping these or are you gonna collect them again?
We're making a song book up, and it's not including them.
And I had them before, we used to collect them. You made it get cheaper. We made them before, and you made them before, we used to collect them.
What?
You'll be in Maine. What he's asking.
You'll be in Maine?
Want these back. We want these copies.
You have to come back.
Hopefully I will, but not at that day.
How have you been, David? Yeah, I know you are. Haven't sold that business yet. You haven't sold that business yet.
Actually, make them that morning.
Nothing's happening on the shore here. The junior achievement ever.
Not that
We just got the director coming in. What's your talking about?
There's a fellow here who I can't call it.
Right, yeah. I played golf.
Oh, okay. Well, you know more than I do.
And he said nobody ever reached out to him.
Yeah, well, that's true. Nobody's reached out to him.
Appreciate the market.
He talked to us about Rotary,
Okay.
but I don't know about the community in general. Let me put this on. Oh, she's here. We got a couple of people.
Oh, Diane.
I'm not sure who it is. I have to put my glasses on. Yeah, so now what's Frank? Because he does have an active club across the street.
He's like a regional director.
Okay.
Yeah. I think his active work is across the road.
Yeah.
He's getting with Liz, I think, tomorrow. The question is, I've ever seen a Rotary. I don't know exactly their model. Does it require community dollars?
I'm sure it does. I'm not saying the county should start funding some. I agree with
I'm on this economic development and under the planning for the
Paul, are you all done eating? You all done eating? Well, how about giving us a COVID update?
Well, first of all, let me give you. We've updated the sign.
Hello, Mark.
Come on,
Going
camera.
into town.
Okay, there we go. Up close.
We updated the sign.
Hey there.
Town.
Okay.
Put it up this afternoon along with.
Where does it say Rotary?
Okay.
Why didn't you bring the whole thing?
So the sign going into town, before you get big, the Cape Charles, I think, and then to the right of that, there's a big Rotary. And below the Rotary logo. And so the Rotary logo was getting kind of hard to see real well. And I went and looked at it real close. And the reason is it had about a half an inch of mud caked on it. So I took it all down and I scrubbed that sign, and now it's about 100 times brighter. And I'm gonna put them both back up this afternoon, so.
Good job.
COVID update, last week we gave,
He doesn't even mind.
Yeah, for Alan.
last week we gave a slight alarm because our town had turned yellow because of the number of new cases. This week it's back down. Virginia Beach remains yellow because of the number of cases, but the number is slightly down. So, and the state map looks slightly better actually. So maybe we're seeing this thing beginning to decline again, and the hospitalization rate everywhere has remained relatively low, which is why our county and it remains green. Although it bumped up, there were 9 new cases per 10,000 people or something like that. Hospitalizations. If it got above 10, the county would be yellow. So we're kind of close there, but I think that just reflects the big bump the previous week in new cases. But hopefully it's on the wane again, and I don't have to give any other reports this week.
One more thing, Paul, the returning members, we have several that are coming back. Do you know who they are?
We have Katie Noonan. Well, John Burtis is responsible for this, I think. So John, you want to
$50.
Okay.
All right, and let's see, one more thing, I'll get Jim to address this. Let's see, crap takes we got, no. All right, Al, what about the blood drive? Tell us about it.
All right, so I was asked to give a quick reminder that there is a blood drive at St. Charles Catholic Church Parish Hall on Friday, June 10th, from 12 to 5. Anyone interested in rolling up their sleeves and donating? You can visit redcrossblood.org, and I have information here if you need to know times, dates, and places.
Thanks, Al.
I just want to say that there's always a big need for blood, and this particular, we're in a difficult time right now because we've actually got 2 blood drives in this area in 1 week. Yesterday, it was over in Cherrington, and today, and Friday, it'll be over here in St. Charles. So if there's so I know there's slots available.
Right.
I'm already scheduled, and I hope that you will consider it, both to help the Red Cross and just help whoever needs blood. And who knows, it might be yesterday. So please consider it.
Thanks, Jim. I did get a thank you note from Kristen up at the BIC, the Barrier Island Center, for myself, Al, Walter Childs, and Reggie, and Diane organizing the traffic to come into park to the event. And what it says is, I hope you know just how much I appreciated your help organizing and recruiting volunteers for the event. That was a big job. Please extend my thanks to your friends. Y'all were simply incredible. All the best, Kristen. So thank you all once again, and we got the big thank you from the BIC, and that was quite an event this year. I think it's been quite a while. Bill Murphy, you want to talk a little bit. Bill, you wanted to talk a little bit about the Student of the Year Award.
Yeah, just real quick. Most of you, I think, are aware that every year we sponsor a Student of the Year Award for graduating from 6th grade. Huh?
Stand where they can see you.
They're not shooting. All right,
And where we can hear you.
All right, I'll tell some jokes before we I think most of you are aware that we sponsor a Student of the Year Award every year for a graduating 6th grader. Kip the peak, yes, okay. And anyway, so that's tomorrow. There's a little park, and just as you pull into Kip the peak, we sponsor it every year. We give the winner a nice plaque and a $50 gift card, and we pick 2 runners up they get a certificate and a $25 gift card. And we have a nice plaque that the school keeps in their trophy case that we engrave the year's winner's name on it each year. So we don't do the selection. It's done by the guidance counselors and the 6th grade teachers. So, you know, we just present the award. We don't have any influence as to who gets it, but it's a lot of fun. We've done it. I think this is either the 6th or the 7th year. So if you can make it, it's nothing formal. It's all just outside and brief. So if you want to make it up there tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you know, we're all welcome to show up. So I just want to let everybody make sure you're welcome, and we're going to be doing it tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Caps and t-shirts.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Bill.
And I'm guessing this probably, this is their last week of school, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them. I know they're all, they
Next
will all
week.
be cheering.
Actually, it's next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See what else we got? Oh, we got John Burns. He's gonna talk a little bit about the crab cake thing.
So, I was already given some guff over here by Mr. Stram is why we have a flyer. We never had one before. We don't need a thinking bag. Well, the future president says we need a flyer, so we got a flyer. I wanted this brought up to get the conversation going. We haven't finalized the details yet. We are going to have a crab cake making on July the 1st. We're going to have the rescue squad. Unless some miracle happens, the price is going to be $50 for a tray, which used to be $40. Still very reasonable. We need all hands on deck to make these things. If you haven't participated in the past, you'll have a lot of fun. We actually make about 1,600 crab cakes in about 3 hours from start to finish. And they sell really well. We can train anybody. We train Stram, so we have anybody. That's why he was stunned by this. He's not from West Virginia, he's from Arkansas. They're always like, they're 49. So, what? Who takes the beat out? Okay, we don't do that. We get pasteurized, already made crabs in little jars like you get cottage cheese. And I will say, and we've got some old pickers coming back with us. We have John Kohler's coming. He's always here for projects. I buttonholed him at the party the other day. So we have plenty of people. Honestly, we can use 35, 40 people because it just makes it go quicker. The first thing is, and you'll sit down at a big table and we pick the crab. And you go through and try to get some of the shell out. Caller promised me he'll be the picking Nazi. He complained that we mash it too much, especially the kids that I brought from the Christian school. We used to have a guy named Tommy Law. His picking method was turn the jar over and scrape it on the thing. So somewhere between mangling it and spreading it out, it's real crab. Then we mix it, then we form it, then we dip it, then we roll it in panko crumbs, and I'm in charge of the shipping crafting department. So I stand around and just give you a hard time for about an hour and a half until you get to me, then you can all leave. So, any quick questions about that?
And the place we're gonna do all this?
No, probably.
Oh, yeah, if the others, kids, convicts, people in the pub, anybody can bring. We don't pay anything, it's all free labor.
Where are we
It's
doing?
going
ours?
July 1st, July 1st at the rescue squad.
What time?
9 o'clock is usually start. Is that right? 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
And about 12 o'clock, you'll basically be done.
Now, the rescue squad is the,
In Sheraton, the Cape Trails Rescue Squad, it's service too, by the way. Cape Trails Rescue Service. We were there for years and then
Yes.
somebody did something that made them mad.
I think you screwed up.
I probably did. They said there was a hole in the roof and they couldn't let us in. And it was totally BS. So they changed administration, we're back. So we're over there.
yeah.
Somehow they contact you about how many they have.
Okay, when we get started, I'll get everybody's name and I'll send an email out and you will let me know. So we sold last time 1,600, I think. And I have been the crab cake king, except last time, I'm pretty sure Mr. Payne
I
won.
think last 2 times.
Yeah.
I support
I still have the trophy because I never relinquished it.
Paul knows, Paul doesn't.
Yeah, maybe so.
Bill might have edged you out.
Okay.
It's only because Bill puts this in Jones Happenings.
Right. He also goes to funerals at Tom's place. He goes
But that's a good point.
he's not,
We have to sell our butts off, everybody.
We do, that's right.
Yeah.
There are 3 or 4 of us that sell about 1,000 of the 1,600, but that doesn't mean everybody will be asked to buy 2 trays. And if you say, I don't like crab cakes, I don't want them, you buy 2 and we'll find a home for them, okay? There are people that live down here at the Myrtle Landing, a place that will take them off your hands if you can't force yourself to eat crab cakes at $50 a tray. We'll find a home for them, but you will pay for them, and then we'll deliver them.
Might I just add something, Mr. Burden?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, Mr. Burden. I've never heard that.
No, earlier I used to join you all when you were making the crab cakes, and I
Right.
found that you didn't have a good process in place for bringing the crabs from outside in the container
That's Rick's
to
job.
the table.
That's Rick's job.
Oh, look at- Well, so I actually, took responsibility and managed the process, Yeah, but so since I left, I'm sure you all have fallen off. So.
I'm so glad you're
Well, I don't know where Paul went. Between you and Paul, we have 2 of the smartest, most know-it-all people. It's hard to believe that she or Paul would know more than me. If you don't believe it, they'll tell you that. Be in charge of the administration of the making. So if you have a complaint, ma'am, you would take it. I'm just a shipping guy.
I'm my secretary, take care.
I am going to circulate a sign-up sheet. This is an all-hands-on
Right,
deck
it
kind
is.
of event, and we really would appreciate if you would also bring your spouse or significant other.
Right.
Or
sometimes
anybody.
spouse.
Right.
Yeah, so at any rate, please sign up. This will give us our first estimate of how many volunteers we have, and it'll let us know how many volunteers we need.
Oh, did you leave out? You all used to serve lunch. Do you still?
Yeah,
do
pizza
that?
afterwards.
We
Yeah,
bring
we
pizza.
do bring
Yeah, we do
lunch.
bring pizza. So you'll
I
get the-
also want to say,
I don't like
the reason we
pizza.
got the flyer is so that we can post these around, and because we're also going to be selling online once again. Now, if someone buys online, they're going to have to pay, pay at the time. But I think, well, actually, I better.
Everybody does this differently. I mean, when you sell, if I have several customers, Bill does too, probably, he may deliver because they buy 10 trays or something like that. But I mean, your responsibility is to sell at least 2 trays or buy them yourself. And you deal with your customer and they can come to the rescue service. I said 1 o'clock, what we've had, we might not be done at 12 o'clock. And what they do is start showing up and they're standing around. So we may refine that a little bit, but for right now, we're selling crab cakes. We'll have them to you on the 1st, okay? Usually we're done by 12 o'clock, but we can't count on that. I mean, if Jackie's in charge of the crab meat, who knows where, it could put us off the track. Anyway, your customers can welcome there. Most people take them with them. And like I take mine to my office or to the ice cream refrigerators down the hall of my office. And people come by and pick them up because I have stacks and stacks, as does Bill. And what we also do typically, Bill and I and Paul, the ones that sell a lot, we wait till the end. So we'll get yours out first. But that's the way it works. So you come at 9, you'll be there for picking for a while. You can help with other things. It looks a lot like the Lucy Ricardo deal with the chocolates and so on. Except honestly, because of Paul and Jackie, and I forgot to honor you, ma'am, in that. But anyway, the production has gotten way better. But it's very precise now. It's done quickly. It's not painful. It's a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys doing it. As far as I know.
So it's not painful. She bring a little whip.
Jackie just uses this as a whip. And it's way.
No, I got a longer whip. I'll have a whip.
And the facility over there is nice. It's inside, it's air conditioned. So
Yeah, a couple times we made it at the fire hall, which wasn't great, but we got literally thrown out
Great
of
in
it.
November, but.
Yeah, not in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot one more thing.
Please.
Who's coming back to help us mix?
Well, I was going to say that in Happy Dog, but I'll say it now.
Say it now.
Okay. So Kate Nunez and Holly Carpenter are both rejoining the group.
Hey.
The whole secret part is not the process, but the mixing. And I don't know what they put in there exactly, but There are no fillers. You read that whole thing. It's crab meat. I think there's a little mustard, a little mayo, and some Old Bay, and that's.
Tom's eggs.
Well,
No, that's,
So the mix itself is mayo, mustard, Old Bay, and they mix them up, and then they form them, then they dip them. And we don't take special orders, okay? I'm sorry, we don't. If you can't do the egg, can't do the panko crumbs, that's
You're
fine.
out.
You're out. We used to take, when we first started this, and Jackie won't remember this, they would sell them like onesies and twosies,
Yeah.
no eggs. No, we sell 6 in a tray, and they all were the same.
multiples of 6.
That's it. So if anybody says I need a special order, thank them, but say no.
I need a special order for lunch. I don't eat pizza.
Bring your lunch. I will tell you, a couple things
Do you
people haven't
want to-
sold before, they freeze really well. Our other contributor to the process, this is always like the greatest ideas or the simplest one. For years, they had started, I was not in the club in the beginning, but they put them in a flat tray, it's ran that around, is what I do. Murphy, who's an engineer from Tech, he still had an idea. Why don't we put another one on top of that and wrap them? And it makes them so much easier to handle, stack and all that. So that's part of the process. They freeze really well. I also tell people, you can tell them this, if they think they're very expensive. First of all, don't feed them to your kids or your friends that you don't like. Break them into smaller pieces, like make crab balls, whatever. You don't have to sell them. I mean,
Check in, putting
people-
you down.
You can make the sales, he's telling you don't have to have an $8 crab cake, but that's, try to buy one out here. We've been talking about other numbers. We're not sure the final price as far as what we're gonna pay, but we're pretty much fixed on $50. We were $40, but that was 2.5 years ago, and we know that a few things have changed in the last 2.5 years. And crab meat's very short supply. Any other quick questions? All of you would have my email address. If you have any specific questions, just send an email. And because I will send an email, yes, Joe.
You're saying to buy them on the website, but the website doesn't have it yet.
Oh, no,
Not
no,
yet.
no, 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 we have, it does have-
We just decided over the weekend.
This has been all weekend. We've been
Right now,
having-
already posted the website.
we've been having a email fist fight for 5 days. or this.
It was not a fist fight.
Well, there's certain people that were giving us difficulty. I don't want to mention it today. Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Big Picture.
With that, a real quick education about Maryland, Virginia, or any other state you wish to say, blue crab. The blue crab runs from the tip of Florida all the way up to Nova Scotia, as well as into the Gulf of Mexico. So there is no Maryland blue crab, a blue crab that will show you his birth certificate saying, I was born in Maryland.
But
So
the point
it-
is, we're not doing blue crab at all.
Yeah, well, it's blue crab, is my understanding
No.
from the coast.
No. Paul said we're not using blue crab
I don't,
because we can't buy any.
we can't buy local crab.
Yeah.
We can't, it's not just big bait.
Yeah, it's not
It's
same.
It is
It's the same crab. We have a supplier, we have moved
It's from
from Bill.
Colombia.
We have another one. We've had a guy in Newport News who's a local Eastern Shore guy. We put on him about 5 years ago. He's been our supplier. We buy 250, 300 pounds at one time, but we only buy it twice a year. So we're not on anybody's list, especially when, as there is now, a crab shortage. So these will very unlikely be domestic or local crab meat. Okay.
But it's still blue crab from Colombia, right?
It's Colombian, right?
Right.
Or-
Yeah.
It's Colombian crab meat.
From,
I'm sure you're getting a lot of that in
yeah,
your
but
restaurant.
it's not blue club from
It's
Colombia.
not.
It's Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah. It comes from- I've got family in Colombia. We'll stamp it down there.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other updates they want to bring up?
I have a quick one.
Go ahead, Joan.
I've noticed on our database that not everyone's photo is on the database. So if you're not on the database and your photo is not on the database, if you send me a face shot or let me know, and Jim and I will arrange to have a camera here some Tuesday, we'll take pictures so we can get them up on the website.
That is great.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know, yeah, thank you. There's not a smartphone app. There's now, for those of you who don't know, there is a smartphone app for the Rotary Club, so you can see your members on the smartphone, which is really kind of cool.
And we want to thank Joan again. She always volunteers to do something. This was a volunteer act. And and the women are holding up their hand.
It was a good thing we got him in.
Okay, Reggie, I think you have something too.
Yes, the Invisible History Committee had a phenomenal tour led by Tom Gardner this past Saturday of 12 or so historical sites. And Jim was there to take photos, and there were about 30, 40 of us running around in golf carts. So that was a tremendous experience.
Really? Yeah,
All right, thank you, Reggie.
Almost.
Okay, let's go into happy dollars. Anybody got some happy dollars?
Well, I've already mentioned, I put $20 in, 10 each for Katie and for Holly coming back to the club.
Yeah.
Katie's actually been a president, I think, right? And Holly may well have been too for all I know. But they're locals. They'll bring our average age down from 73 down to about 72. They're both under 60, maybe a little less than
They were before my
But
time.
Jen, stand back up, John. You gotta mention that Katie knows the right proportion.
Yeah,
She
right.
knows the recipe.
Yeah, we have a secret mix that only certain people know. Fortunately for us, Bill and I don't know, because we wouldn't know from day to day. Katie is going to be a mixer, and she will show the other people how to mix. Mixologist, yes. Anything else, sir?
No.
Madam, do you have anything for me?
No, you're good.
You have to ask permission to sit.
Go ahead, Bill.
I have $20. I'm
I
so
wish I
happy
know where he gets
because for about 2 or 3 days, I was able to jerk John around electronically, but I decided I would not be the Joe Manchin of the Cape Charles. Who's recording this? No, the money. Paul's not here.
You love.
Okay, do we have any other happy dollars?
I have a special friend guest dog. The name was Saturday Graves Davis. Calling out to Ma Bell. She's retired and had a telephone system, right? So happy to have you here. I have $5.
$5 happy dollars. My wife's sister, her niece, and her niece's baby are with us for 4 days, and we haven't been able to spend time with them because of COVID and all that stuff. And a little child, right? Over 2 years, so they're going to be with us for 4 or 5 days and $5.
All right, Jackie.
I don't have any money, but.
No.
Just ask Joe. Just get Joe.
Yeah, give me part of, all right, I'll give $1.50. $2. Okay, no, $3, because my son and his wife and their 8-month-old baby came to stay with us. His birthday was on June 1st. He and Bill ate like 5, how many, Bill? Oysters.
Oh, 50.
50 oysters in celebration. And I'm so glad they're gone. Can you watch the baby for us while we do this? Oh,
You're
sure.
happy they're gone.
Yeah, I'm happy they are gone, yes. They drove me crazy.
You baby though. That's a.
I'm sure they
Oh,
must be
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
I just want to make that point.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna Bill Stan.
So I have 10 happy dollars. Yesterday evening, Cape Charles Main Street, Reggie was there and I was there. Recognized from the Virginia Living magazine, 33 best businesses in the Cape Charles area. So we do this every year, and it's great. It's done down at the distillery and Ground Dog, Hotel Cape Charles, the beach, Bay Creek, the brewery, the distillery,
periwinkles, lots of boats.
There, I mean, there was, like I said, 33, there were two double winners, and that was the distillery and the Vic. Vic got it for historic thing and also for their art on the farm. So
And by the
Where was that?
way, these 33 are from across the entire state of Virginia.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They break it down in the regions.
Regions,
So our
yeah.
region covers the eastern shore, the northern neck, middle neck, and all of Tidewater.
Right.
So
That's still good. That's great. Randy, did I see your hand go
I've got 25 happy dollars.
up? All right.
Which probably should be more, but with the price of gas. So my wife, who I met in the 4th grade, we are celebrating our 57th wedding.
Wow.
We don't hear about so much these days. That's great. Any more
Can
happy
you make that,
dollars?
how many years is it?
57.
Can you make that $57?
I'm trying to explain it.
just had to put $100 in.
Well, let me tell you all, we kind of dodged a bullet here today. We had somebody else that was going to speak with us today, and it was all set up. And last night I got an email saying she could not be with us today because somebody in her office had COVID, and they tested everybody in the office, and it ended up that she tested positive for COVID. So dodged the bullet today. But it is my pleasure to say, replacing her, she will come back and speak with us about oysters another time. It's my pleasure, though, to introduce Ken and Dolores. They're going to give us their bio.
Said we do it, so basically I gotta say, I started in a log cabin, walking out 10 miles. I'm a Jersey boy, born and raised in there. And basically the Sinatra's, that was filmed right where we lived and worked. The pizza place, the pork place. So we are basically, I was myself, Roberts and Wilson, lived on a block with all Italians. We were all Italians in the area. Tony, what was it? Tony, oh, we say Tony Soprano, but it wasn't. We had Butch Spaduta, Vinny Della Volpe. What was it? Joe Bianchi. And we were the only ones left as two non-Italians in the neighborhood. And you didn't go further than your neighborhood block, basically. So as a young boy, I'm basically standing around, and they had a little, what do you call, building a block in our block. So all the kids are writing in the cement, and they're putting words in there that shouldn't be. And I'm standing around with them and everything, and the cops show up, and we all take off. I run down the alleyway. I get to the apartment. We're on the first floor, so I knock on the window. Mom, can I get in? Cops are after us. Kid, what do you do? Writing in the cement, bad words. So the cop comes and says, your son was writing bad words in the cement. My mother turns to him and says, he can't spell. I said, Mom. So that was my days in the city. It was like soprano all over. We're either wise guys or cops right down there. But I moved up to western New Jersey to be in the country area. And I met a friend that was very close to me, and we went to, his brother was in West Point. So I go to West Point for a weekend with him, and I'm just, oh, that's it. I want to go. It's so much, just, you know, boys of being boys or something. I just loved it. So my mother got me into Admiral Farragut and Tom's River, right? And that's basically a military for ready for school. But my mother was a math teacher, and basically I didn't, you don't want me to do the bill. My math is bad. So I couldn't get in, so I go back to public school after being at Adams for a couple of years. And I'm in high school now, so I know I'm not gonna go any place special, so I'm chasing girls and playing sports. That was it. I didn't care. So I get out of high school, my mom goes, well, what are you gonna do? Well, there was no community colleges. I think, I said, Mom, my SATs are pretty bad. Says, I don't think you, well, whatever you say. So there was a day's outing for the University of Miami in New York. So we go there, I get a free lunch. I enjoyed that. And the counselor goes, he looks at my SATs, he looks at my marks. He goes to my mom, you got $3 grand? She says, yeah, he's in. That's like, all right, I'm in college. The University of Miami. This was back in the early, actually it was 1959, 1960. So Key Biscayne just called my name. I mean, I just said he did not study well or anything like that. So I ended up having to come back. I had mono and other things, so I never did go. I never did go to college then. I came back and ended up, what did I do? Okay, just.
I don't want to give anything away, but he has volunteered for our social committee.
You part.
No, my God.
Hey,
I said, I haven't grown up yet.
we were too. Social committee.
So having mono and just
Other
being
stuff.
on my back a long time, I finally married a girl that I had known in high school. We had some kids and I had to end up in the family business, which was monuments. And it was a family business that started in 1882. And I think I was the 5th generation. And I went to school at night, and that was pretty hard. I finally graduated from school, and it naturally was called FDU. It was fairly ridiculous. I did go there, finished up. What happened? Have strange things that would happen. I'm very superstitious. Being in the monument business, I was very superstitious. I have lots of stories about things that happen to people, and I just, say to myself, boy, it's lucky. It's either fate or whatever. But I had a young guy that was working the gas station where we had our plant, and he stopped with his brother picked him up. He always stopped at the red light because we were in front of the main gate in cemetery. And he would look at a monument in the front row in our showroom and say, well, I like that stone. He got his license, and I think a month or two after he had the license, he got killed in a car accident. So something like that just says, they came to us and said, he picked this stone out. I said, did he know something or how? And another one where a woman was crippled, really bad shape. And the husband is saying, get this stone fast because she's, basically gonna die at any time, right? So he had a long Polish name. And first time we cut it real fast and we made a mistake on the name. So we had to cut him a new one, right? So he gets the stone and about, maybe 3-4 months later, it's a head-on collision in Newark. And he dies and not her. Is it something that he knew to get this and wanted in the grave? So, as my wife knows, I'm very superstitious, right? So after that, I had ups and downs in my life. My son, we were on a family picnic and he drowned, and it caused a lot of problems. So I ended up, my ex-wife, everybody blames everybody else for drowning. It was very difficult. So that ended up that I was going through a very messy divorce. And when I was going through that, the story that my wife will tell us how we met, which is very funny. If you can tell something that my mother and father got by a blind date.
I went on a blind date with my mom and dad to meet Dolores. And I was in that weird.
She was safe, she was safe.
Well, thing is, she lived next to my mom and dad for years with her first husband, and I didn't even know her. She was 4 years younger. I never dated young girls or small. So I didn't know when I was one with the other. So what happened is that she'll tell the story of how she met me, and I was the love of my life, basically. She really came in and just put me on because I was working 7 days a week. Back then, we only got Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving off. We worked straight for 7 days. And I worked and tried to keep my mind busy. But when I met Dolores, then I got more involved with things and I tried to basically do more as service. And that's why I have my bio basically made up that I was in the business for over 55 years. I tried to take my kids to do it. They just weren't, they weren't good. So after 4 generations, I sold it to a good friend of mine who worked for me out of high school, and he's like a stepson to me now, and the family is just so close. And so I ended up with getting down to Cape Charles. We had looked, when I was ready to retire, we had looked down at Georgetown, South Carolina. We actually bought property there. I had to run back. The kids were ruining the business, so I gotta come back. Then we go to New Bern, same thing happens. My son is, he's got the apartment next to the business, right? And I call up and I get the answer. I said, nobody's in. And he's in the apartment looking across, and he says, nobody's in the parking lot. I said, you gotta go into the office once in a while. So basically, New Bern was out, and we found Cape Charles by an accident, but I don't like to go down 95, so we ended up coming down 13 all the time, stopped at Exmoor, and we, I fell in love with the town. I just love it. And we went to Outer Banks all the time, so this was what we did. But naturally, with us, we on March 3rd, we bought the townhouse at Bay Creek, and everything was shut down. We ended up not getting down here until, what was it, August. And I was lucky enough to live in my townhouse across from Alan. He was just great because you weren't meeting people or anything. And Alan and Cece were just so good to us that I enjoy their company and we enjoy each other, right? So thanks very much for that.
Yeah, we got a date with our wives and everything out to eat. We always go out to eat on Thursday.
Yeah. I used to be a 165-pound kid. I'm not that anymore. But I do love my food, and that's one of my bad habits. So I don't know if I talked long enough. Jim said that had to cover at least 10 minutes. So I don't think there's anything else. No?
Is it true that you are a 17-time Paul Harris Fellow?
What?
He actually is. But you're a multiple Paul Harris donor.
Oh, I didn't know that. My bio said that I was responsible for shorts. I was in a Grantville Businessman, which was basically all men. And it was not accepted in the county we lived. The paper would not give us any write-ups because we were all men. And I became man of the year. COVID hit, and they haven't had one since. So I'm like the man of the century, decade. I did go on, my wife was the only person, mayor in
two separate towns in Sussex County. So I ended up getting on the planning board and doing things with the executive board in the meeting. So I'm used to a little bit of service, doing things for people and enjoying it. Because I am a people person. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you. Yeah.
As time went through his early years, his graduate years, I'm thinking, he needs to be on the ethics committee.
When you ask to go someplace, I don't, in Jersey, you say, I'd like to check that grade out. You have to go like this.
All right, and next one, Dolores is going to talk to us.
Do we have time? Yeah, we should.
You wanna-
Yeah, and
okay.
she should have her own.
Yeah, okay, look.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I know what it's like,
Right, she's an attorney, so when she was writing things in concrete, it was in Latin.
Now I know I can marry you, Dolores. You're an attorney. You can get him off of all these things.
That was something, I never was in court before, but once I met her, I was in court all the time. I was doing deposition.
Okay, well, I think we're going to bring this to a close. So if we could all stand up, please. And other things you would say, number one.
Is it the truth?
Number two.
Is it fair to all concerned?
3.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Number 4.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
We got Stan here today, and he's going to tell us all about number 5.
Number 5 is, will we have fun?
Absolutely. Thank you all. And look for those announcements coming out about.
Goodbye.
Yeah. So,
Diane said goodbye.